What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm J and we are locked in. This is the recap for episode 9 of Raising Kanan. And let me tell you, there's a war going outside and you need to choose your side. Are you with Raquel or are you over in Jersey with the mob? Because we got to get our get back for the hit that they put on Marvin. And hopefully our man Marvin actually survived. Because man, they sure gonna need him. Because the way Raquel and Lulu are moving individually is very, very bad. Now, before we jump into it and break this down, if you like power content, breakdowns, theories, and predictions, hit that subscribe button, turn your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram right here. Now, Kanan, he's out. I'm going to Famous's house. He don't want nothing to do with Rock. But we got to deal with Sal because Sal tried to get rid of Marvin. So let's jump into episode 9 and see what they do this week.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you, if you want it.
We start the episode off with straight action. Now you hear Kanan narrating. He's saying, shooters, they're never happy. They can never live a happy life because they always know, like Raquel told young Kanan, that bullet, once you put it out there, it's always going to be looking for its revenge. Whether that's a bus, a gun, a beatdown. Well, tonight, it happens to be Lulu. Jimmy tells him, you don't want to do this. Lulu said, I do. Silencer knocked him out. R.I.P. Jimmy. We get that out the way. We see Marvin is alive, and unfortunately, Renee was the one to get hit. After all the work she put in to help Marvin get to where he is, she went out by a bullet that didn't have her name on it. The thing is, bullets don't have names, and although Marvin survived, we know Marvin is happy that he escaped this. The junkie Sam. Now, I made a video breaking down what I thought was going to come from Sam, and guess what? It looks like it's coming true. Sam gets caught indecent exposure out there in the park using the bathroom. It used to be a day you could go out there and do that, but Sam, not today. So they start searching Sam, and he has drugs on him. He's like, man, I promise I'll go take those drugs back. I'll pay for everything else, though. I paid for everything. I'm going to take them back. I got a tip. I can tell y'all who shot that cop. You remember they said, bring Sam in and let me talk to him when he sobers up. Well, he's sober right now, and he thinks he can point out young Kanan. It looks like Famous is down and out. He hasn't been paying that rent. Ever since Kanan got that money for him where they put the dope inside of the cassettes, Kanan took money out of the closet. Famous hasn't paid. Now, everyone's saying Famous is probably on drugs. Well, the landlord ain't playing. On drugs or not, there's no payment plan. You got 2 days to come up with the rent. But Kanan also hears that Crown is gone and Famous is trying to offer free studio time, but I don't know if you heard, Crown is gone. Jimmy got, Marco got, and now members of the family are talking to Sal saying, you can't just let this slide. You got to go over there and do something, get some get back. But you got to understand, Sal is in Jersey. Sal still has to talk to the families in New York in order to do something like that, because that is their territory technically. So he's saying, look, there's some politics going on. Get me Unique, and we're going to work through this the correct way. Because he doesn't want to go over there, start ruffling some feathers, and then other families are starting to look at him, and I'm talking about mob families. But they're trying to egg him on. Sal, we got to do something right now. Sal's like, all right, we're going to play it by the book, though. Sam is getting processed, and he's trying to get out of this. You know, Sam ain't trying to spend no more nights in jail, so he's telling the officers, look, I know who shot Malcolm that night, that D-Tech. Let me tell you, it was Youngboy. It wasn't who I said it was. It was Youngboy. I was messed up. Now Bert comes over because she hears the hoopla. She's like, you didn't have information for us that night. He said, man, I was high, but now I'm sober and I know something and I got that information. What do we know about Bert? Any lead that she gets going towards Malcolm, she's gonna go and look at it. Lulu's in the studio. Cartier, the new business partner, silent business partner, is there, and they got Ziza's song playing. Now she's trying to record something new. The first one was for the radio. It got a little bit of spin, but now we need something for the you know what I'm getting at. But Famous comes in because he told the landlord he would give him free time. Cartier interrupts it and says, son, we don't do charity around here. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man how to fish, he can eat for life. So Famous, what you gonna do? You gonna cast that hook out there and you become a fisherman. You gonna get out there and hustle, get your own money. Because if we give you money, the studio won't stay open. And Lulu was saying, I thought you was a silent partner. And just like he did with Crown, money talks. Cartier's fun and everything. You just got to shut up and work now, Lulu. See what you did? This is the clip that we seen drop this week, and it's between Jukebox and Raquel. Now, Raquel left the house without doing the dishes, and when she gets home, Juke is doing it. Now, Juke saying, Kanan, he's out with Famous, and yeah, I did talk to my mom. So Raquel she trying to get any information. Did Kanan talk to you about me? Because she knows that everyone knows that she's lying to Kanan about a lot of things. And she's trying to explain to Juke that the decisions we make now will haunt us later on. And we see how Kanan was in the OG power. Jukebox knows that Raquel was wrong. So to me, it looks like it's just going in one ear and out the other. And plus, Jukebox, she's already dealing with her mom issues. So Raquel just lying, if she stops that, it helps everybody out. Kanan meets up with Malcolm at a mosque outside of the city because no one needs to see young Kanan with a police officer. Now, when they're coming outside, Kanan goes ahead and confirms to Malcolm, I know that you're my father. And I don't need no DNA test to prove that, even though the DNA test is what, hey, this confirms it all the way. And he's saying the relationship with you is going to hinder the relationship with my mom. And Malcolm is saying, well, to be, to be fair to her also, give it a chance. And Kanan is saying, being fair to her, she's the reason I shot you that night. Now, Malcolm doesn't want to talk about what happened. He just wants to move forward and be that father. So at least he's trying to make sure that him and Kanan can have a relationship and leave Rock out of it as far as having Kanan mad at her, because he's still going to protect her. That's his baby mama, and he probably still feels Rock. Sam is trying to get out of jail. He don't care who he's telling on. All he knows is I know who shot Detective Malcolm that night. It was young boy. He's with this Puerto Rican looking guy. I don't know who he is. They call him Famous, but he don't look famous to me. And Burke is like, what are you talking about? Wait, Famous? Famous hangs with Kanan. Kanan is around Malcolm. She's like, wait a minute. Let me go run this up the chain, because she's in trouble. She doesn't need to take on another part of this case and investigate her own partner when Captain already told her, don't do that, Burke. But when she leaves, the guy comes downstairs and he hears that Sam is saying, I know who shot Malcolm. So of course he's looking like, wait a minute, what is Burke doing? So Burke is putting this thing together, case by case. Burke goes straight to Captain. Hey, Captain, what if I have somebody that will testify and give another statement that wasn't, saying similar to the original statement? Captain said, I don't care what you use. As long as it matches the evidence, make it happen. But don't be looking at nobody else's rice bowl, Detective Burke. Meaning, don't be looking at Malcolm's file, but that's exactly what she is doing. As long as she can get this statement to line up with the evidence, Captain don't care, as long as we solving cases. Raquel put in that call, she got a lawyer, and they got Abraham out. Now, she's supposed to be making a deal with Tremont to get him to leave Cartier's organization and work for her. Now, he's saying we don't have any kind of agreement until you handle Cartier, because he doesn't want any issues and he don't want another one of them black eyes. Now, the lawyer does get Abraham out because there was 4 people in the vehicle. The gun was in the back. It's going to be hard to establish who the gun belonged to. So the lawyer tells Abraham, look, no more guns, at least here in the state of New York. And Rock is saying, hey, if I want something done, I'll get it done. So Tremont is looking like, all right, you did this. You handle one more thing and we are in business. Well, it looks like it's Sam's lucky day. The jails are overcrowded and they got to release him for some big fish. Now, when he's leaving, Burke is saying, hold, let me talk to him for a second. But since he's being released, he doesn't need to give up that information and he can keep it for another day. So she wants to at least walk him out so she can figure out if anything he's saying is credible. But at the end of the hallway, we see Malcolm come in. Now, the guy that heard everything downstairs, he tells Malcolm, it looks like Sam said he knows who shot you. And Malcolm is thinking, oh, Lord, here we go again. So he's either have to get Sam or he's going to have to take out Detective Burke. And the bum would be a lot easier than another officer. Just as I expected, Sam is saying, why would I talk to the police now when I'm free? I'm going to use this as my free get out of jail card. Now, while she's trying to set this up, Malcolm comes out and sees that, yeah, Burke is paying him to get information. Now, he's saying there's only 3 spots you're going to find him at because he a basehead. The smoke shop, the trap, and y'all know, we out here these streets. So Detective Burke, she's working and Malcolm is watching. So now he's spying on her, who's spying on him. After that tag team action on Kenya, Jukebox, and Marvin, they started to get a little bit closer. And you remember Juke said she didn't want to talk that day, but she would talk to Marvin eventually, and she knows that he's trying. And he even says here, he went to the funeral, but he couldn't tell if he was crying or not because he had sunglasses on. And Juke is saying, I've seen you cry. There's nothing wrong with that. Marvin, he's starting to admit and see that I've done some things that were wrong in life. And a lot of bad things come to those that do bad things. But I'm working on myself. So if I can work on myself, I can fix everything with those around me. Because losing Renee, that was one person that was actually helping him. And he sees that he's really getting back into Jukebox life. So Marvin, I think he's really trying to make this change. Especially since they done took out Jimmy. It's crazy in these streets. Cartier trying to creep up, you know what I'm saying? See what Raquel on. But she ain't feeling them like that. She's here for business. And of course, Cartier, he's interested, so he's about to run his mouth again. And he's saying, I want to get into your organization. I want to be a partner, kind of like how he is a partner to Lulu. 50%. I can open up new markets of revenue. I can do all this and that for you. She's saying, you doing all that because you want some of this? He says, I don't pay for that. Very commendable gentleman here. But he's trying to take over from the inside. 50%. And he even tells her, if I own 50%, 50% of something is better than 0% of nothing. Raquel ain't going for that, but she's still learning everything that he's saying. She's still going behind the back. She met up with Tremont. Cartier doesn't know. He's caught up in love. That love blindness. Unique is grimy. Never forget that. Unique is for himself. Never forget that. But Unique sticks to the code. And everything that I was predicting has come true because he's telling Sal, I can't give you any information on Raquel. Your son Marco messed that up. Your beef with Rock, I got an issue with them, but that's your beef. I'm not jumping in that, and I'm not giving you any information against Rock. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And if I tell you stuff, I'll be considered a snitch, because if I run and tell you something, everyone would think I'll run and go tell somebody else something because I don't like them. Sal is saying, look, my son Marco vouched for you, and now you're disappointing me. But Unique stood his ground, and he said, that's your issue, that's your beef. What you and I did when we stole the truck, when we stole the bus, you got paid from that. I don't gain anything from giving you information on Rock. So Sal, he's disappointed, and he tells Unique to leave. Famous is broke. Kanan is spotting him a couple $100 because Kanan still needs a roof over his head since he ain't at his mom's house. Now you hear Famous just talking and yapping, but then you look behind him and Frederick walks in. You remember Freddie, the one that robbed him? And Kanan looks at him after that brutal beating. Frederick doesn't even say nothing. He just looks at Kanan. Kanan tells him, yeah, I know you didn't want no more of this. He walks out with 3 boxes. But Famous is saying, man, I'm broke. How he got money? And Kanan makes a valid point. Freddie is grimy. They were robbing to survive. Do you really want to live like that? Even though Famous is still living in a bummy environment. Shannon and Adina, they're in the bed, and they supposed to be talking to each other about each other, feeling each other, you know, getting to know one another. But the whole time Shannon is just bringing up, oh, what should I do about Malcolm? Should I dig a little bit deeper with him? What is my next move? And Adina's saying, stop talking about him. It looks like you're looking for fans at the police precinct. You want to prove to everybody that you actually fit in. And you didn't just get this job because of your daddy, because of your brother. So now you're working overtime and you're not even get paid for the regular time that you're putting in for this because you're not supposed to be on this case. But Adina said, let's not talk about Malcolm and let's talk about us. And what does Burke say? She says, Kanan, oop, Malcolm, oop, who are they? Yeah, she's in over her head with this case. Marvin is thanking Lulu for taking out Jimmy because Marvin had to lay low. Marvin had to go to the funeral. Now Rock gets off the phone and she's saying, look, we got people from Syracuse, Rochester. They coming in. We getting a head count and we going straight at the mob. So Lulu, I need to make sure that you're here full time. And of course, Lulu is here because he's looking out for his brother Marvin. And also he's letting Rock know, hey, Rock, this time we don't have the money or the people to go to war with Sal. And she's saying Sal ain't going to do nothing because he's a smaller mob boss. And if they find out that Sal's getting into it with some black folk from the South Side and can't handle it, they're going to laugh at him. So what we want to do is just make Sal believe that we can get to him. Rock also tells him we got to take out Sam the junkie, the crackhead. So that means she's still talking to Malcolm to get this kind of insider information. Famous wakes up. He know he got people looking out for him. He only got 2 days to pay rent. He don't have the money. He goes down to Corinne's room. He's knocking on the door like, hey, let me get your mama a gun. I ain't gonna use it to smash your mama like Kanan did. I just need it because people are after me. And then he says, why are you protecting your mom's stuff after what she did? So Corinne goes and gets the gun for him. I don't know what Famous thinks he's gonna do with it, but she's like, man, bring it back in a couple of days. Now, I don't know about you, but you know if your gun is missing after a couple of days. Famous, I guess, hey, if they gonna try to evict him, he's going out guns blazing. Nicole meets with James, and he has a detective that's with Internal Affairs. Now, Internal Affairs is not the police. All they do is police what's going on internally within the precinct. So he's asking, James has information about Detective Burke that she may have been manipulating young women and giving them drugs. Now, James isn't divulging the information and where he got it from, his source, which is Malcolm. And Juke, she says, I don't talk to police, especially about police. So now she knows that Detective Burke has been doing something with Nicole. Of course, she's dealing with her. She gave her Kenya's address. So she's looking at it as, first of all, I'm not snitching. But second, Detective Burke may have been playing me. What is she actually looking for? Now, James, he's not going to give up the information about Malcolm. So it seems like Malcolm was trying to put information in his head to throw him off and get Burke in trouble. We need to get rid of Sam. So who's better to go do this? Marvin, because him and Sam have already had interactions, especially when they're trying to get that body up out of there. The trap spot was closed. Sam was upset, but he's saying, Sam, I need your help with something. And he says, I'm paying you in jumbo. Sam looked around and said, oh, he made an offer I cannot pass up on. But you know I got to smoke that rock before we go do what we got to do. So Marvin just lured him in. That free dope would get him every time. Famous got that revolver. Famous goes to Freddie's house because Freddie, even though he's bummy, Freddie got money. Now he's telling him to open up the apartment. He done pulled the gun on him. Freddie said, Famous, that's you with that weak ass voice? You ain't gonna do nothing. You pulled that gun on me, you ain't gonna be able to finish this. And Freddie got a gun too. When he reaches for it, that's one thing. When they scared, that's when they the scariest. Yeah, I said it, the scariest. Famous seen him grab that gun. Famous let loose. Bow. One. Oh, you reach again? Yeah, go ahead and lay him on out. But one of the neighbors opens the door, so they may have heard Famous's name. Juke is telling Kanan about seeing Malcolm heading over to James Bingham's house. And she's like, man, I don't know what he got going on, but I know James brought me in to talk to some detective, and I don't talk to the police. Kanan's like, all right, I'll ask Malcolm about it and see what it is. Juke is saying, yeah, man, so wait, your mom was messing with Malcolm. That means she was, what, you said 16? He was in the 20s? It's kind of like you and Corinne's mom. Kanan's like, nah, that's different. It's different when the woman is doing it. It's not Kanan, but, you know, this is the 90s. So right now, Juke is saying, you ever thought about coming back to your mom's house? Kanan says, nah, man, we can't never get right. For her making me shoot my dad? Juke says, well, Marvin is trying to do better by me, and think of it like this. At least you have a dad now. Marvin is trying to change his ways, and we were thinking he was about to kill Sam, but instead he's putting Sam on a bus, telling him to leave New York City because I'm after you now. And that's going to be a problem. If I see you again, I got to kill you. It ain't safe out here. Sam says it's never been safe on the South Side, but he's saying, look, I'm trying to change my ways, and I'm going to give you this money. I know I shouldn't give a junkie like you money because we know what you're going to do with this money. But Sam, it's never too late to change yourself. I'm trying to change mine. So you get out of here. And you hear Sam say, all right, I'm going to get right. I'm going to leave. So hopefully this doesn't come back and hit Marvin. But right now, Sam, you got your life. Sam goes maybe 1-2 blocks, and Sam does what Sam does. He hops off the bus, fist full of cash. And hey, I'm still in New York City. He's supposed to be down in Atlanta. Come on, Marvin. You should have got rid of this man. And he's a junkie. Cartier's headed back to the house. You hear Kanan narrating. It don't matter what you are, CEO, dope boy, athlete, regular worker. You always think that you're the best, but there's always someone younger and more hungry. You had that crown, it makes you a little bit lazy. Now, when Cartier's going up to the penthouse, a phone call is put in and they stop on the 8th floor. Door opens up, Raquel, Lulu, all black, silencer. Cartier looks at him. F you and F your family. And all you hear after that is man down, Cartier is gone. What's the old saying? Help me, I've fallen, I can't get up. Well, In this case, once you're down, it's over with. Raquel steps up, puts one in the head, looks at Lulu. Lulu go ahead, put another one in his head. And the siblings in black, they walk on off. There you go, episode 9, and man, oh man, it was a good one. We got our issues with the mob. We got our lick back in the beginning. We got Cartier in the end. I want to know, what do you think about Famous and the whole Frederick thing? Him shooting him? Ooh, what do you think that neighbor knows? Man, let me know what you think. I'm MoDI. Make sure you tune in Sunday night for the live after show discussion. Tune in tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern, right after the show for the first reaction live. I'm MoDI. Thanks for watching. I'm out.